And welcome to Backstage. I'm your host, Mr. Magic. Normally, we just have single guests sitting in on stage with me, but today we have a trio, the Brothers Leaders. These are gentlemen that have been performing ever since they were young boys. They're all drummers, two of them are electricians, and they all try to play tennis, but we'll get into that in a few minutes. First of all, I want to thank our sponsors. We want to thank the Grand, Bootsy's Place. We're here. This is where we're shooting Backstage this season. And thank you, Bootsy. If you want to find out more about the Grand, go to www.bootsysplace.com, and you can find out more about what you can do and how you can rent out this space. Also want to thank my clothing sponsor, Shannon's. Yes, Keith, thank you very much. Down there in the Windsor Place on Queen Street. He also does tuxedos for weddings as well as rentals, and he has a great lineup of clothing. He geared me up for today's show. So let's get right to it. These are the Leader Brothers. So please, gentlemen, introduce yourselves. Actually, let's start from there. And you're the oldest. Your name, sir, is?
My name is Earl, Leader, and I'm the oldest.
And next to you would be?
Next to me is my brother Urban, Leader.
And then the baby of the family?
And the baby of the family is Denton, Leader.
All right, so I said in the beginning, you're the Leader family. Give us a little history on the musical prowess of your family. How did it all start?
Well, definitely it started from our father, Mr. Ernest Leader. And way back in the 40s and 50s, you know, he was a musician. He had a 15-piece band, right? Matter of fact, they started me off as a drummer as a young. I was about 9 years old when they started to teach me how to the rudiments, you know, to play. And actually started from there because my father actually, believe it or not, a lot of people don't know, was a drummer at first.
Okay.
And then he moved to saxophone. And then obviously, then he moved to saxophone, then he introduced me to drums, and then I started to play. And then while playing drums, he also introduced me to playing sax, but somehow sax wasn't enough energy for me.
Got you.
So I stuck with the drums. So.
All right, and in your experience, as some people may not know, but you were in Toronto for a while.
Yeah, I was in Toronto, Canada from 72 to 81. And I actually went up to study further percussion and theory and education. So I went to a small place called Ontario College of Percussion, and I studied there for about a year. And then I was offered a job teaching the younger students that were coming along up. And since I had a vast amount of experience from Bermuda of the different rhythms and stuff like that, this sort of also helped me. I wasn't really that on top with theory at first, but then I got the afterwards. So I started taught there and got a job for teaching, and then after that got a little bit boring, so then I started to go on the road and playing with different bands. I've traveled all over Canada, you know, playing with different bands. One of my successful bands I played was a Canadian singer named was Lisa Dalbello.
Okay.
She was a Canadian rock singer, right? And I played with her, and I performed with her all over. And being with her, I had an opportunity to do a campaign for the Premier of Canada, Pierre Trudeau, which is passed now.
Yeah.
So that was her, you know, up in Canada. So that was a huge thing. And also there was another lady we were touring with called, she was the Canadian singer.
See, I can tell this is your older brother.
Yeah.
Okay, he's got some time right now.
Exactly. Yeah, just so much. Yeah. So I played with and then I did also play with the Latin band, you know, Ken Manteca, which went on to be pretty, pretty famous in Canada as well.
All right. So, well, thank you for that knowledge and history of your sometimes career as a percussionist, you know, moving forward. Now, can we pass the mic over to the middle brother? And
Trying to sing?
huh? No. Actually, we've never actually heard you sing. Well, actually, when you were with Sharks, you sang a little bit. You know, I do remember that.
It was singing, isn't it?
It was singing. It was singing. Now, what makes you unique about being the Leader brother? Are you the only left-handed drummer?
No.
Between? Bring the mic
my
up.
family here?
Yeah, bring the mic up, please.
Earl and Denton are the right-handed. Yeah, I'm only lefty here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't mind that.
No, it works for you.
Yeah.
It definitely works
fine.
for you.
Yeah. But me personally, my career and stuff like that, first of all, the Leader family, from my father and my brothers here, we probably got about 160 years in the music business
Yeah.
on the island.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
you know,
and that you guys definitely have been a household name for many, many years. I mean, you yourself, as I know from the years we've known each other, different groups you've been in, like playing with Barry Fitzsimmons and Monners, and you know, and different transitions you've made, and even remember, we will talk about this later, but the music video you guys, the Sharks, made with your heads under the sand on the beach, things like that. How has it been for you growing up under your brother at first? And then your father having to teach you, or was it your father that taught you drums, or was it your brother?
Well, I kind of learned from the both of them. Matter of fact, my brother actually, he knew he was playing earlier, and you know, I used to just come in from school, and he used to have like a little practice set and stuff like that. And when he wasn't around, I'd jump on behind him, you know, and stuff like that, you know. And that was kind of like the beginning of learning experience. My father actually had me in his band when I first started, you know what I mean, just trying to play a little bit. And I think one of my first things, because he used to do a lot of charity work for what's called St. Brendan's then.
St. Brendan's, which is Bermuda Wellness Institute.
Yeah. And he used to do like once a month, he used to go down there and play for him and stuff like that. And he took me on one of the gigs, like one of the first ones. And I was actually a little nervous there, but I played it. And one of the guys in there, one of the patients in there, like came up after I got a little break, and he gripped me around my neck. He says, "Hey," he said, "You know how you break them up?" And just pulled me like this. I said, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah, okay." You know what I mean? I was worried for a minute. So next time I came out, I was worried. I set the drums up close to the door. So my father said, "Hey man, what are you setting up there?" So you didn't know that. You ain't game was happening last year to take off.
You getting ready to run. Well, I can actually speak on that because some years back as well, myself, I had did some work at Ben St. Brendan's doing the same thing with the music class. So kudos to your father for doing that, and also for bringing you guys
and
along.
Lord Fox and stuff like that as well.
In that aspect. So let's talk a little bit about the bands you've been with, or I should say the band that changed its name like 7 times.
Well, let me see. It was the All Together. I think that was one of the bands I kind of started with. Light Sentence, another band. Fame, which was the house band of Hamilton Princess. And we left there and we done an album, and we went to United States, and we was in New York for a while. We was in Ohio, Richmond, Virginia. We left the event to Santo Domingo, Curacao, Aruba. Came back and worked in New York again for a while. So we cut down the circuit a couple of times like that. Yeah. And then in when we was at 40, we used to leave Bermuda in January and go up to Vermont, up the ski resort. And we used to play up the ski resort for a couple of months.
On top of Mount Vernon.
Back, yes. Right. And then we used to come back and just catch the college season, right in March and April. Seasons back in and stuff like that, you know. So
okay. On that note, folks, I gotta let you know when he said college seasons, I don't want any to be confused, you youngsters. This was a period of time when college kids actually came to Bermuda. You know, and we had the cruises, and we used to open Disco 40 through the week and have sessions there and party with them.
I think the most they had was like 14,000.
14,000, yeah. It was like that. All right. Well, we will definitely get back to you because I know we've got more stories to talk to you about. So let's come down the line to the youngster of the family, and this is Denton. And so you have, I think it's like 20 years between you and your middle brother, isn't it?
Yeah. No, it's 20.
Oh, 20 years between. Oh, okay. All right. I'm trying to make her a little bit older than she actually is. Can't do that. So 20 years between that. All right. What we're going to do right now, I'm glad I've got the mic in this corner. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back. We're going to come back with you, and we're going to talk about the experiences and you growing up, you know, under the shadow of your brothers, and how many times you got smacked upside your head for missing that 2/4 beat and got beat for it. So we're back right after this. More backstage. Got the Leader Brothers. This is legend right here, folks. This is history. This is Bermudian history. Come back. Let's find out where this history is going to take us. We'll be back right after this.